Philadelphia police officers responded to the scene and located Osama. He was suffering from multiple shot wounds to the body. The police officer placed him in their patrol vehicle and rushed him to Lincoln Hospital, where he was listed in critical condition. Despite efforts by medical personnel to save his life, Osama died on Tuesday, August 22nd. A second victim, a 19-year-old black female, was shot several times. She was transported to Lincoln Hospital also, where she was listed in critical condition, but fortunately, she survived. The funeral that was shot was never revealed, and the shooter was never arrested. But that's not crazier than this next incident, because they allegedly got that from their ops in 3 hours.
Breaking overnight, a shooting in the city's Overbrook section left 2 people in critical condition. It happened on the 1500 block of North 61st Street at 10:30 p.m. Police say they found a 19-year-old woman and a man possibly in his 20s, both shot in the abdomen and torso. The 2 were taken to Lankenau Hospital. Witnesses saw the suspected gunman fleeing south on 61st Street.
Michelle Osama was a rapper from West Philly and a member of the gang CCK, the same gang rappers like Lil Bucks, Young Liv, and Sonny Goon Claves. In 2021, Osama was arrested for aggravated assault and sentenced to 9 to 23 months. And on March 29, 2023, Osama was let out after serving 19 months. After he was let out, Osama would start making music, and 3 months later, he went on to drop a song named Okay, Whatever. And in that song, Osama dissed his ops. Only 2 months later, on August 21st, Osama was singing out with some females at a friend's crib when somebody walked by and started shooting at them at point blank range before running off. And
that
moments
muzzle
later,
flash ain't no
Tony
joke,
come out the
boy.
crib with a strap, asked what happened. Osama kept telling him to call the cops. Philadelphia police officers responded to the scene and located Osama. He was suffering from multiple shot wounds to the body. The police officer placed him in their patrol vehicle and rushed him to Lincoln Hospital, where he was listed in critical condition. Despite efforts by medical personnel to save his life, Osama died on Tuesday, August 22nd. A second victim, a 19-year-old black female, was shot several times. She was transported to Lincoln Hospital also, where she was listed in critical condition, but fortunately, she survived. The funeral that was shot was never revealed, and the shooter was never arrested. But that's not crazier than this next incident, because they allegedly got that from their ops in 3 hours. It all started on the 300 block of
Hey,
Moscow
3 hours
Street
is
at approximately
crazy.
5:30 p.m. Thursday in the city's Clean Village neighborhood. Police officers say Carii Ledsim, 19, was shot multiple times in his legs, torso, and head. The victim was transported by police to Jefferson University Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Another 19-year-old was also shot and injured in this incident. The second victim was transported by private vehicle to Pennsylvania's hospital, where he was
Bulletproof y'all windows.
Investigators believe at least one of these victims, they had been the intended target of the attack.
Stop tinting
and the
them and
others
just
may have been
bulletproof
caught in
them.
crossfire. 4 cars and 5 vehicles were struck by stray bullets during the shooting, but luckily nobody else was injured. The person that was killed went by the name Puda and was a member of the gang called the 5th Street Centers. And they were known to beef heavily with a gang called Center Street, the gang that was believed to be behind the shooting. And just 3 hours later, they spent on Center Street. Surveillance video captured the gunfire rang out around 9 p.m. on the 700 block of Daly Street. Terrified bystanders crouched behind a car to take cover. Of the 60 bullets fired, 11 casings were found inside the Chinese takeout shop on the corner. The owner took cover in the bed. Officials say 38-year-old Charles Flicking, who lives on the 2700 block of South 76th Street, was shot 18 times throughout his body. He was transported to Jefferson Hospital, where he died. Police say
18
a
times
31-year-old
rough,
and a
bro.
28-year-old were also struck and injured.
2 deadly shootings in South Philadelphia neighborhoods just last night. The violence happened within a 3-hour span. Now police are looking into whether these shootings could be connected, as neighbors recount the fear they felt as all those shots rang out. Action News reporter Maggie Kent live at police headquarters today with the latest on both of these investigations. Maggie.
Brian, 3rd District police officers responded to both of these shooting scenes happening within 3 hours of each other. In total,
3 hours
5
is
men
crazy,
were
bro.
shot, and 2 of those men died as a result. Now, as you mentioned, investigators are looking into whether these shootings happen to be related. Gunmen, one wearing a white hoodie, the other a black hoodie, seen on surveillance video opening fire on the corner of 7th and Daly Streets Thursday night. All the while, terrified bystanders crouched behind cars.
We hear the sound, dong, 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 dong.
3rd District Police found more than 60 shell casings at the scene. 11 of those were found inside the Chinese takeout shop on the corner. The owner took cover in the back.
I see the 3 people lay down on the floor.
They not showing his face like they don't know where they shut up.
I run to the back.
3 people were shot. A 28-year-old man and a 21-year-old man were hit, but will survive. The bullet struck 38-year-old Charles Fickling multiple times, killing him. 3 hours earlier, just before 6 p.m., police responded to a double shooting at 3rd and Montrose Streets.
We have over 75
Philly trying to go
spent
crazy.
Those casings show there were 2 guns used in the shooting. 19-year-old Carii was murdered. Another 19-year-old was injured.
My brother, he actually did say that he saw the body.
A neighbor says she watched the aftermath from her window.
I thank God that it didn't hit our house. Like, it was terrifying.
With 5 homes struck by gunfire, we're lucky no one inside of these properties was struck.
Now, you may have noticed we talked to neighbors and witnesses, but all of them were afraid to show their face. The fear of retribution is very real in situations like this. And police are asking for tips, but they also want to remind people you can remain anonymous. We're live at police headquarters. Maggie Kent, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah.
Okay, Maggie, thank you.
And if you thought that was wild, the next story is even crazier because this Philly rapper was gunned down while holding his kid. It all happened June 19th, 2021, where Lil 60 was welcomed to his car with his son and his friend. Surveillance video shows him walking up with the child when the SUV pulls up. 2 men exited and started shooting. It was a crazy scene. Raekwon Wright and Evan Baylor were shot dead on Saturday, and Wright's 3-year-old son was wounded in the right leg and left eye.
Dang.
He was also grazed on the side of his head. According to local sources, the SUV was recovered and no arrests were made.
Only on Eyewitness News surveillance video, they're capturing the sound of gunfire. 3 people are shot in West Philadelphia. A white SUV is then captured speeding away. When the bullets stopped flying, a 3-year-old had been shot and 2 men were killed.
Come on, bro.
We had some rain earlier today and there are a few downpours lingering, but will Father's Day be dry? And celebrating Juneteenth in our area and honoring the meaning behind this brand new federal holiday. Good evening, I'm Joe Holden. A 3-year-old is recovering tonight after a triple shooting in West Philadelphia. The child was wounded multiple times, according to police. 2 men in all of this were killed, gunned down in the middle of the afternoon in a brazen act of violence. Alicia Roberts, live at Philadelphia Police Headquarters with that surveillance video you will only see on Eyewitness News. Alicia, you tracked that down.
Yes, that's right, Joe. From the scene this afternoon, residents shaken up. We do want to start with news that 3-year-old little boy is expected to be okay.
Thank
But
God.
within the last 15 minutes, Philadelphia police have confirmed one of those men killed is that toddler's father.
Yo.
Just pop, pop, pop together.
Neighbors describing the deadly drive-by shooting aimed at 2 men standing outside their car parked along 55th Street in West Philadelphia. In the surveillance video obtained exclusively by CBS 3, you can hear more than a dozen gunshots that sent people running, then cries for help from the victims. Seconds later, a white SUV speeds away from the scene. Police say the shooters were inside.
2 individuals got out of that white SUV. Both of them firing shots at the 2 individuals, striking them multiple times.
Those 2 men, both 23 years old, died from their injuries. Caught in the crossfire, a 3-year-old little boy shot several times in the legs and taken to Presbyterian Hospital.
He is in stable condition, expected to be released from the hospital.
When you have innocent children involved, that's hard. That can really hurt us.
A neighbor who didn't want to be identified telling CBS 3 one of the men killed was visiting his mother.
He's a real sweetheart. He really is.
It's supposed to be Juneteenth, but you know, so much for that.
This Marine veteran who served 2 tours in Vietnam at a loss for the violence so close to home.
Here, you don't know who the enemy is anymore. I don't walk the streets at night.
I'm just scared that we're doing that to each other out here.
Now, in a statement, Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw saying we should never tolerate violence against our children, as all of us, not just the police, are charged with the responsibility to keep them safe from danger and harm. At this hour, police have not released the names of the victims. They did tell us, though, a weapon was recovered. No arrests have been made. Reporting live outside police headquarters, Alicia Roberts, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Very jarring to see that.